Tell me all those dirty, dirty secrets. Tell me all your dirty little 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 secrets.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Shovelhed Podcast. It is Wednesday, July 9th, 2025. And my guest today is Karen Laser from Laser, you say it, is a lot.
Laser Focused Talent Agency.
And Business Solutions.
I do business solutions as well, correct.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks.
I wanted, for those of you that don't know, Karen is a booking agent, and she's been very busy the last couple of years.
Very.
Like all over the fucking place, like literally all over the place. And what's funny is I didn't meet you. This is the second time we've met. The first time I think it was OCC, and it was for a second.
Well, Earl's one time.
Was it Earl's?
Yeah. Then OCC.
And that was just like for a split second.
Correct.
And we never got to talk. And it wasn't until a couple of months ago that a situation happened that kind of put us in a messaging situation with each other. And
then I pick up the phone and call instead.
Yeah. It turned out that I had been hearing your name here and there. I just didn't know to the extent of how much work you're actually fucking doing. Like,
a lot of work. Yeah.
When you guys see the anything big going on around here, she's got her hand in it somewhere, somehow, someplace. And why? What made you dive so deep into the business end of the music?
Well, the irony of it is I have another career I've been going strong 40 years doing payment processing, payroll, and credit card processing, POS systems. In fact, my name's written inside the wall at the New York Stock Exchange, right? About 3 times.
Nice.
Yeah. But the thing is growing up, my mom, I think I'm going to blame this on my mom. She's, having restaurants and working in the entertainment, my family, my uncle owning bars and stuff, and working with musicians growing up, up in Minnesota, big music up in that day, back in those days.
Yeah.
You lived there briefly, didn't you?
No,
not Minnesota. Okay.
Too fucking cold for me. Sorry.
Come on, you should have said yes.
No, actually, I worked for a company who asked me to move to Minnesota. And I was like, no way.
Yeah, it was cold, but there's some good people up there still.
Yeah.
But I met a lot of great musicians up there. And, I don't know if anybody knows who Yanni is back in the days and who was in the band Chameleon with Doogie McNeil, Charlie Adams, who's my best friend in the whole wide world, the drummer.
Oh, wow.
Real famous drummer. He's,
Actually, that's the first thing I said when I talked to you, and you mentioned that you had a relationship with it in the Yanni camp was, I can remember fucking, I don't know, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, whenever the videos
Live at the Acropolis.
Yeah, the Acropolis thing. Yeah. He had it was like buy the DVDs off TV commercials.
Yep, on PBS.
And fuck, man, it looked outrageous. Amazing. Like I'm sure a lot of people that don't like the new age type of music had to have been impressed musician wise just at the way that video was set up. It's like Red Rocks.
Yeah.
Like when you see a band playing Red Rocks, it's like there's more to the breathtaking part of the entertainment because of the scenery.
Absolutely. And the one thing about that is a lot of people have this misconception of Yanni just being new age, but he actually started off in a rock and roll band called Chameleon. Oh. They had videos on MTV back in the days and VH1.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the revolving drum
makes sense because he's a good looking guy. He had the best hair on the planet.
A lot of women really adored him. They did. But I will give kudos to Charlie Adams, his drummer, who had the revolving drum kit idea back in the days before Tommy Lee. If you Google this, go on to YouTube.
It's true.
It's true. Called Charlie Adams Revolving Drum Kit. You really need to check it out, where Tommy Lee really got the idea from. And Tom Bird and Steve and those guys were behind that with Charlie Adams. And there was 3 different drum kits that were revolving drum kits. Did you ever watch that YouTube video?
I have seen it, because it actually blew my mind because the first time I saw it, it was in one of those viral share videos about how Tommy Lee stole it. And I have strong opinions about Motley Crue. Let's just leave it at that. And I was like, holy shit. Like, I thought Tommy Lee came up with it. For all those years, I thought it was Tommy Lee's deal, and that, he was going to go down in history as being, it's like David Lee Roth being David Lee Roth. David Lee Roth is Jim Dandy.
Right.
So
that's why I think when you're going to ask me that question is, why did I get so heavily involved? Because I think that people like Charlie Adams didn't get the recognition that they really, truly, honestly deserved. And I'm such an advocate
for musicians. Yeah.
Yes. And not only that, but business owners as well, because, with my family owning businesses, my uncle owning bars and nightclub stuff, you also have to be an advocate for the business, for the venue owners as well. So I guess my love for music, my love for my friends that are musicians, my love for my family, business owners and hard workers, kind of evolved together and shaped together. So becoming a licensed booking agent in the state of Florida, which you're required to be a licensed booking state in order to be booking your shows, be licensed and bonded, which I am legally. I look at it this way. It's like a triangle. You got a triangle here. At the top, you have the venue. One side of the triangle, you have the musicians and the artists. The other side, you have the talent agency. And those lines got to form nice and smooth together to create that perfect triangle.
Yeah. No, it's true. I've been saying it for a very, very, very long time here is the venue cannot, there is in our area, there's a break in that.
Yeah.
There is a break in it because the venue does its thing. The band does its thing. And there is really nobody doing any of the marketing other than the band and some of the venues. There are some venues that will spend the money on it and try to get it done. But for the large majority, there is nobody for the venue doing the job correctly to generate profitability for the business itself.
The return on investment.
Yeah. Like I would love to be able to see a venue be able to survive based on the music alone.
Right.
But it's not, you can't do that here. It's not physically possible to pull that off because everything here is based on an alcohol sales.
True.
Everything. The bands won't want to admit that it's based on alcohol sales.
It really is.
But yeah, it's what's keeping them working.
Yeah.
If there was no alcohol sales, they couldn't sell a ticket somewhere.
Right.
So the circle needs to be redefined, and or people need to start being a little bit more picky, about the type of things. Like you walked in here with flyers. Did you have them?
Matter of fact, let me go grab those. Let me grab those.
Yeah. So she is working with Nico McBrain's Titanium Tart.
Check that out.
And now they're playing. I know they're playing here at Captain Hiram's. Yeah. They're playing at Piper. Are they playing at Piper's?
Yeah,
Piper's, and they're playing at OCC
and the Barn in Sanford.
Oh,
July 25th. The Barn in Sanford. This is what we do with marketing.
Yeah. So this is what she does. Her company makes them. Not only is she booking, but she's also promoting, which are two different jobs, by the way. Booking agent is not a promoter.
No.
However, a musician is not a promoter either. It's the nature of the social media game that people seem to forget.
Right.
That it's so fucking uber important now. Like retarded important because nobody can get information anywhere else.
It's hard.
The other thing is that I do have some friends bands that make flyers, send it to the venue, and the venue doesn't put the flyers up.
I've dealt with that quite often.
Yeah, but I see the miles that you put on. You're putting them up yourself.
I am.
Tell me about the gig.
So coming up this month, July 25th at the Barn in Sanford, Titanium Tart, Nico McBrain with his amazing musicians are going to be there performing. We have a couple opening bands prior to that. Maximum Friction's going to be opening up. Yeah.
Oh, if you got... Shovelhed Nation knows Maximum Friction.
Yeah,
well.
they're
love
great. We
Maximum
love Maximum Friction. And Velvet Sky is also going to be a part of it as well.
I have not seen them yet.
Yeah.
However, I have one critique.
What's that?
They need to change their logo.
Yeah.
Because it's very difficult for me to, I had to stare at it to understand what it was.
Right.
Marketing wise, make it more legible. Otherwise, cool name.
Exactly. We had 27 submissions for bands, by the way, for opening up for Nico. So it ended up having to be a drought.
He's such a Patrick and he are good friends.
Yeah, they're good.
He is
amazing.
People don't understand how big of a community guy he actually is because he owns a local business.
Rock and Roll Ribs.
Yeah. And when he throws that party every year.
Yep.
And there are thousands of diehard Iron Maiden fans there, you know, and he really is. This is every year. Actually, it might be twice a year. At least once a year, he's been coming around since he retired.
Yeah. What's on year? Well, he just retired.
Yep. There's a little guy. There's a fucking little guy walking in the door.
Special guest coming through the door here. Another rock star.
Fucking late as usual.
Rock stars. This is the rock star syndrome. I'll show up late.
Sit.
Hey, Ray.
It's like a
Ray. How are you? Ray from Spread Eagle. Yeah.
Here, take this.
Ray also has an original band.
I'm loud enough they can hear me off of her mic.
I'll do like you.
See you.
Hi, babe.
How are you?
I'm good.
Ray West, Spread Eagle.
Yes.
I've been called worse.
We all know each other. One way, shape, or form, or another in this fucking scene. It ends up being really weird when people talk about you to the other people because they don't know who you know.
Right. Small world. Just, in our music world and the whole community, whether you're in Florida, Minnesota, New Hampshire, I don't care, LA, wherever, it is a really, really, really small world.
Oh, we've talked about that before. It's
you and I have.
Doesn't matter where you go. Everybody knows somebody. It's a really small business. If you're an asshole, you'll be found out by everybody. You know what I mean? It's like, he's an asshole, but he's okay. Or he's just a straight up asshole. That's funny.
I own that.
It's the truth.
No, actually, she and I were just talking about that before. And you're only an asshole if you're honest.
Oh, and then I walked in.
Yeah. If you're honest,
I'm an honest asshole.
If you're honest, it makes you an asshole because people hate fucking honesty. Everyone wants their asses kissed.
Oh, people don't want the truth, man. You got all the good podcasts are all about truth, and people hate on them for that. That's why it's hilarious.
Yeah, exactly.
The last time I saw Ray was at my Rockin' for Autism Awareness benefit. We had it April 27th at the barn, again at the barn in Sanford.
Which was good. Which was great.
Yeah, it's great. There's two stages. There's two rooms. You've got the one side room. They call it sometimes a side karaoke room it can be, or they do line dancing there. And then you got the main stage, which we ended up having 10 bands that day. We had 5 bands on one stage, 5 on the other throughout the whole day. And these guys were one of our headliner bands. And they've done it a couple of years now, my Rockin' for Autism Awareness. And circling back to that about when your question was earlier, Charlie Adams, when we were talking about Charlie and Yanni, Charlie Adams is the reason why I decided to do the Rockin' for Autism Awareness benefit.
Yeah, you were telling me that.
Yeah. And so
I didn't know that.
you were learning something new, why you've been a part of this for these years. But so Charlie Adams, drummer with Yanni, has 4 kids. 2 of them are autistic and on different ends of the spectrum. And honestly, they're like family to me. So when you asked me what motivated me, it was even more of a reason that I got motivated and said, hey, what can we do? And within our own community, even though Yanni Yanni lives in South Florida, but Charlie lives in Nashville area. And by the way, he lost his home that morning of May 8th on his birthday. This year, May 8th, 3 a.m. in the morning.
When you told me this story the other day and I got off the phone with you, I'm like,
and unfortunately, his autistic son plugged something in that caused a fire and burned.
Oh, that's heavy, man.
And, it's very heavy. On the morning of Charlie's birthday, of all things. So,
well, you do such good things, and I was really blown away by how many people showed up for you for this thing. It was really cool.
No, I'm blown away by the people that really just get involved, period. Like the bands that I work with, a lot of bands will donate their time, and I can't thank them enough. There's so many bands out there that I have to say thank you for being so important part of the community, for stepping up to the plate, donating your time. The guys behind the scenes, the production guys, the sound, the light guys. I mean, they're amazing. And the venue owners that say yes to me and they don't say no. I love that about
people. Love you, man. And who was the masseuse?
She gets to see what we see but as one of the spectators, You know, we take for granted. I think sometimes I know that I don't. I always thank them. I'm fucking vigilant about thanking sound guys, especially ones.
Oh yeah, man.
That blow my mind. You know, like if I get a sound that blows me away, then they're going to get thanked big time. Some way I'm going to give them some weed. I'm going to do something's going to happen there in which I'm going to say thank you.
Yeah.
Because the crowd doesn't understand how fucking integral that is to you as a singer.
Oh yeah. And let me just add this.
Let alone any other musician.
Right. And let me just add, you know, I go to a lot of different venues. You know, so sometimes you'll get the sound. I meet a lot of front of house guys, and sometimes you meet the guys that are they're just great. They do it soulfully. They're there because they want to be there and just, they want to be part of it. And some guys are just those guys that just like, oh my God, I got to push these buttons. I'm here. And you know, those guys, they're not very nice.
Right.
You know, it's like the whole premise of just, if you want to, you know, be in the building because you want to be in the building. But some guys,
there's no passion.
Yeah. So when you meet a guy that's really cool and has great ears and there's nothing, yeah. What you got?
You want a THC soda?
Fuck yeah, I want a THC soda.
Grape soda. Do you like grape soda?
I've got
Will it make me go smile? Will it make me go schizo?
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was thinking I didn't offer him a drink.
Is it
we're fucking late?
Is it an intense buzz?
Yes, it could be.
I love these when to gig. I love these to gig, man.
No,
Rob's like,
what you really like is my cans of
I say
oxygen.
Every gig, I'm addicted to these fucking things. Go to aisle 13 at Total Wine and buy the case. It's $42 for the case of 12, but they're 10 milligrams. So
okay.
So 10 milligrams, good.
Yeah, man.
20 milligrams, night.
And it's good to gig on.
Yeah. All right. So here's my story on that one. That I might have even told this one. The first time I had them was playing at Connolly's in
down
West
South
Palm
Florida.
Beach,
Yeah, West Palm.
Beach.
Yeah.
I love Caitlin. I love her fucking to death. She got them in. She sends me a text message and she's like, I got a surprise for you tonight. So I get there and she gives me the THC drink, except they're 20 milligram deltas.
Okay.
You can only get them at the bar. None of the retail places sell them that high. So she gives me one, and me not thinking, I just keep drinking them. Over the whole course of the fucking night, I had 5 or 6 of them. At the end of the night,
dude,
like I was so fucked up that each one of my band members were like, "Are you all right?" Like, and they never like that.
That's funny
because I had no idea how strong they actually really were because you're drinking them like water.
Yeah, man.
And then
can't imagine.
Yeah, because I was on a wide gig, but we had a good gig, and Rob's like, "Man, you gotta drink that stuff every night." I'm like, that's fucking funny.
That's too funny.
Because you know, it takes the edge off a little bit, you know.
Now wait a minute.
Yeah.
This guy was on stage 2 nights in a row because I worked with him those 2 nights in a row in April, and he's like, "Karen, Laser, you got that can of oxygen?"
Oh my God, yeah, which was awesome.
It was awesome because I was having some respiratory issues, and I still carry it. Yeah, and I carried my can of oxygen still, and I was really, really sick for a while there, and I still carry it with me. And he saw me taking a hit off my oxygen because I knew I needed it.
Oh, it was amazing.
And then, you know what I missed? I don't know if they still have it in Europe. Are there still oxygen bars anywhere?
Oh man, I don't know. That's a good question.
That was a big thing in the mid 2000s, oxygen bars.
But
yeah, that's right.
I was really sick with respiratory infections, so bad. I couldn't even walk from here to right there.
So was that by prescription?
Yeah. So
Did you end up with COVID or flu?
No, it wasn't the COVID. I had pneumonia. I had bronchitis and pneumonia and that at the same time, and it was and it was just like that. I thought I was going to die. Seriously.
Oh my God. You know, I asked you because I make a joke all the time. I don't know if you do it too, but I'm pretty physical. So, by the third song, whatever it is, I'm already zooked, right? So I always make a joke that I need the green thing of oxygen, the green container to walk around with in the mask, you know? So actually, as I made the joke, and she actually had the thing of oxygen, and I hit it, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
And I wish that I could have one all the time.
Why can't
I'm like, I guess I have to have a prescription, right? Yeah. So I could just call disability or something. Call a disability or something.
Senior citizen.
I never thought of that. However, I will tell you this, because I'm a smoker.
Yeah, it was hard on me.
That I actually have, like, I buy the over-the-counter, whatever that.
The inhaler.
I forget what the name of it is.
They sell those over the counter?
Some of them you can
Yeah,
get, but
it's a low dose over the
It's
counter,
very low.
non-addicting type of thing. It's not like the
it's the inhaler, but it's not the albuterol. Like I have the albuterol, the Pro Air, that
Well, it's
mine
not-
has also with the steroid in it.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ours is steroidal. This is
Yeah.
not.
Right.
But what it does is just kind of loosens the phlegm
Yeah.
for me.
Huh.
So I
Starts with
always
the
hit it.
D. Starts with the D.
Well, I really enjoyed it. It really it did its magic. I was like, oh my God, this. So I was making a joke and I'm like, it's a really great thing to have.
And I had it. I'm like, here, you need this?
Well, because when I was a kid, I would see you see backstage shots of Kiss and you see like Ace Frehley huffing on the thing or Gene Simmons huffing on it. I'm like, man, that's always,
Doesn't
wonder
have a
why.
name on it. It does not have its name on it.
So that's over the counter.
Yeah, it's like $30. Oh,
Yeah.
Primatine Mist.
Primatine Mist. That's what it was. I thought
Primatine
it was deep, but it's Primatine
It's over the
Mist.
counter.
Yeah.
It lasts me forever because the only time I ever use it is before a gig.
Yep. You can buy it on Amazon.
Look how my brains work. I'm like,
Right on
I do one too.
Before the gig, not
Really?
like 10 minutes before the gig, an
Yeah.
hour, because it cleans out and opens up your lung
Airways.
area,
Yeah.
and it's temporary. It's you don't feel it, like you don't feel like you've taken a drug of anything.
You don't
It
get the
just
shakes
opens
like
your breathing.
albuterol or
Yeah.
Zopanex.
And see the oxygen, what that's doing for you, that is giving you almost like a fucking total energy boost
Man, I
in
just,
your bloodstream.
can I get one from you?
You're so funny.
I don't know if they.
You know-
It's not I wonder.
We probably can't talk about that on the
addicting to
podcast.
somebody who doesn't use it.
No, it's not.
I won't get one from you. We'll talk about it later.
No, it's not. It's not addicting. But hey, speaking of Spread Eagle, by the way, and last time I saw you, I don't know if you know, but I just booked you a couple more show dates in October coming up.
You see this between both of you guys, and I can thank you both right now because we had a hard time getting back into Florida and then he got us in.
Yeah.
And then we met you.
I was
So
there. Well, I knew
it's-
Rob beforehand.
Okay, yeah, but it's just nice that you guys were generous with us like that. And that was cool. It means a lot.
Small community, dude.
Small
Yeah.
community, and so I kept booking you, booking
Help
you,
the old
booking you.
guys out.
So yeah, and October 16th, you're going to be at Steps Bar in Fort Myers.
Oh.
October 16th.
My favorite place.
Yeah, we'll have Ambush and all them with you guys there. Ambush is one of the bands it's original artist that I work with too, and so they just signed with me.
All right, hang on. Don't go too far because there are a lot of people that are non-musicians
Yeah.
that actually watch this. Who is Stet?
Stet Holland. Yeah. Okay. So let me tell you who Stet Holland is. Oh, Stet is the former drummer with Wasp, Metal Church, Lita Ford. He's also in the Live 85 Elvis tribute with Steve Unger who's also a Metal Church bass player, as well as he's in Live 85 and the band Autograph. Turn up the radio.
Yeah.
Bass player for that. So Stet owns a bar down in Fort Myers. So he also is in the band 10,000 Views.
So what you guys need
You
to
just got
take
plugged.
from that before more, I'll let her keep going, is that he's a fucking musician
Yeah.
first.
Yes.
Go to his venue because he knows the talent.
Mhm.
Go there because it's someone who knows music.
Right.
Doesn't mean he's not concerned about the bar ring, but you
He's
know that
concerned.
his bands are going to be fucking great.
He's a quality guy, man.
Yeah.
Patrick and Eric
Yeah.
are friends with Stet, and
So
his
here's
name comes up all the
Yeah.
time. I haven't met him yet.
So here's a crazy thing. I booked Stet for shows as well with his Live 85 Elvis tribute stuff. And then he was just recently in Orlando with Gary Hoey. So he tours with Gary and a few other musicians. But he allows me to go ahead and book different artists at his venue. And so I approached him with Spread Eagle. Goes, yeah, I knew you and Rob DeLuca were really good friends. By the way, Rob DeLuca with Spread Eagle. Rob was also bass player with Sebastian Bach for about 17 years. And
I love Rob.
that's how I met Rob years ago with Sebastian Bach. And then, of course, he's had Spread Eagle, and you're on your 35th year of touring, obviously.
Oh yeah, going on 100 soon. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels that way, right?
102 at least.
But I
But
seen
that's a great
Spread
guy.
Eagle back in the days, and I was like, and I reconnected with Rob, and when they were coming down playing at OCC. Well, I knew actually Rob and I had been communicating years prior with that, but I said, I will definitely change my schedule to be at OCC, watch Shovelhed, and see you guys, and we'll get the next guitar for the Rockin' for Autism awareness sign.
That's where I met you at that gig?
Well, no, I met you at Earl's before that, but you were there that night too. Yes. So, and I came with the guitar that had to be signed because it was going into the autism benefit just right afterwards. But I did change my schedule to make sure I was there.
Oh.
Yes. And,
Did you ever talk with Kenny from,
it's Kenny.
what the fuck is his name?
With the ambush, Kenny?
No.
No, Kenny's Ambush, because I talked to Kenny coming here today. And
He's
Ambush
got
is
the
that
show with Glenda.
Oh yes, Kenny Wilkerson.
Kenny Wilkerson.
Yes, he's his cookbooks. I've also
because his is all autism related too.
Yes, and his son's on the spectrum as well. And Kenny also did one of my.
Kenny, man. I'm
Kenny. Story about Kenny Wilkerson, Nova Rex. I will tell you this: his "Staying Cheesy Ain't Easy." Part of that documentary was filmed in my backyard.
Oh, no shit.
It was filmed in my backyard.
A documentary?
A documentary. His film that he has out there. So if you go check it out, he's got a film, Staying Cheesy Isn't Easy.
So here's a fucking really weird. It's so weird
small
how
world.
This world is so small.
Yeah.
When I moved down here, I'm from New York. I didn't know who Nova Rex was.
You didn't know.
There was
Yeah.
Florida
Yep.
thing, sensation. And I kept seeing the name all over the place. Because he's very smart at keeping it alive after all these fucking years.
Yep.
And I was always like, well, who the fuck is Nova Rex?
Yeah.
I never knew them.
Name sounds cool.
Well, they've opened up for Warrant and all that.
Yeah, I mean, when you get into hanging out with Kenny, you get it. You know that there was that time when for a lot of us in the 90s and right at the end of the 90s into the 2000s where some of us all had very big local fames in certain areas because it was this is why I have this whole disdain for our current scene-osphere of music here, how it's an output, whatever. I'm getting off fucking on the
You're talking about a sense of community, right?
Well, yeah. Well, when I built my business sense as an original artist, which is fucking dude, you are fighting from the second you make the decision to write your own song.
It's not for the weak-hearted, man.
It is a constant battle.
It is a constant battle. I have actually at one of the venues that I work with, Good Times in Maitland, we have what we call Original Artist Wednesday night. So I book original artists from Tampa or outside of the area and Orlando just so that their music can get heard. There's a cover charge. They do charge a little cover charge, but that money goes back to the bands.
Yeah, you're a rarity, man, with that. You're a rarity that you do that.
So, and then I have one coming up with Tom Cook. Yeah, we have one coming up at Post Time with Tom Cook. That'll be coming up. It's on a Sunday and we have 5 or 6 bands there. So Tom Cook's with the band Sound Theory, but he's also written some original artist music too. So, but by the way, if I can just say something real quick, I want to give a shout out. I have to give a shout out to when we were talking about the Rockin' for Autism Awareness benefit to all the volunteers that have every year been by my side and just gave it their all with me. I can't thank you guys enough. And the ladies that have always been there year after year, Kathy Willis, Deb Ball, bunch of you ladies, and Catherine Ives. Yeah. You ladies have really, and Diane Nelson, all of you. I can't name you all, but there's so many of you. And I just have to say thank you for everything you have done, committed your time, spent endless hours at my home, just putting everything together with me. And they know I don't go to sleep for a few days at a time because I'm busy putting together all the silent auction items.
It's a very nurturing bunch of people you have.
Yeah, they're really cool amazing. Yeah. Are they not amazing?
They're all very sweet to me, yeah.
So thank you for everything you've done for me and sticking by my side and working with me on my talent agency. Some of the ladies also help me work the doors when I've got more than one venue going on at a time. Like coming up July 19th, I have a show with the Brass Mug in Tampa. I have the Godsmack Awake tribute with the Metal Militia Metallica tribute there. I have Kathy working that show. I'm going to be up in Brooksville at the winery where I have the AC/DC Tribute Festival going on. I have 3 AC/DC tribute bands performing there.
I saw that.
Yeah.
And what is Keith doing?
Performing.
Yeah. I saw him post something. Yeah. I was like, okay.
And those things are
3 AC/DC bands performing in the same place?
Different. Like one's bluegrass, AC/DC, one is a female AC/DC, and one is AC/DC.
Like an AC/DC convention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Actually, I might.
I would do that. I would go see that. That's cool.
Yeah.
If it means AC/DC music, that's cool.
Yeah. So they're really cool people to work with, and we're doing some other stuff with them. But so that's going on next weekend. And then, like I said, the week after that, I've got Titanium Tart with Nico McBrain, and his bandmates are amazing. Some of them are also with Joey Belladonna as well. So they're also going to be at Good Times Bar and Grill on Sunday, August 3rd. No, not Nico, but the band members from Nico, I will tell you, they're also in the Cinderella tribute band. So they're coming up from South Florida, from Miami and Boca and all that. They're going to be at the Good Times. They're doing the tribute event with, It's called Made of Metal, Cinderella Tribute, and Kaminar is going to be opening up for them. So that's going to be a great show. Get your tickets there. Everything I do is all on Eventbrite. I have ticket links. Your show's coming up. Eat Crow. That's where I wanted to go. Yes. That's going to be, September 7th, Sunday at Good Times Bar and Grill. I think Gray is opening up for you guys. Gray is opening up for you guys. And I'm going from memory.
So is Gray a cover band or tribute
band?
Gray
is an original band. Yeah, the original band based out of Daytona. I work with them and book them as well. They are also the original, but they do some covers as well. But they're really great. Amazing musicians there once again, too.
They contacted me a while ago.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's very hard to book new acts in this.
It is. It's very hard.
I got out of it because it's difficult because the venues think they don't need a booking agent. And they think they don't need a booking agent. They know what they're doing, blah, 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 and then they cry poverty or we're not making enough money and blah, blah, blah. And I wish that they would take the advice of the people in the trenches because while they're working at their venue, we're the ones that are out there in the streets at the other venues, checking out the scenes, seeing what's going on, knowing the hierarchy within the bands and the fan bases and who's going where and to what and to all this. There's a whole aspect to it that they don't see when their mind is set on the now.
Right.
When at that now, there's 150 other events going on within the surrounding area. So they're not focusing on creating the one experience that everybody wants to go to.
And you know about that. Both of you know about that. So I mean,
it's. I wish that there was a way that we could force the situation. Rich, if he's watching, will totally agree with me on this aspect. That you could get exclusivity with certain venues, as a booking agent,
right? Some I do too. Yeah.
So that you could force the competition to upgrade their bands, and so then what you end up having is you have kind of a situation like we had on Long Island that Rich was a part of. We had a scene, and when I got out of the original stuff in 2007, and I went right into the corporate cover band thing, and we were all booked by an agency, and the venues who had 5,000 people at them went to the agency and said, "Here, every 6 weeks, put me I want a new band in here from your roster." Or, and he would say, or they would say, every other week is yours. Right. So now that booking agent now had a lock on Saturday nights.
Right.
And they would go through their roster and they would only choose the best of the best of the best to be in their roster. So now you were riding on fucking cloud nine. We were going home at that time with like $3,800 in cash for 4 45-minute sets. Cash, not even having the fucking 1099, that shit, and there's a whole lost industry here that has never taken shape. Now you're talking about venues that would give away barbecue.
Right.
They would have free hamburgers and hot dogs to get people to come in.
Everybody thinks they have a new way to do it, but you guys are physically in the business of it, so it's funny for me to hear this stuff. I
have said to a couple of bars, you need to start selling the THC drinks. You can get them, and I've given them the distributors carrying them and stuff in there, and they've said now, we're not going to add any new.
That's the general response you get from that.
And I'm like, are you shitting me? Do you know? First of all, do you know how low alcohol sales have gotten? For one, because people are starting to not
drink because of DUIs and all those
DUI laws, all that kind of shit has been getting tougher. People are deciding not to drink. There are a lot of people I know have turned to a sober life and they don't want to drink daily like they used to drink.
Right.
And these are people in the music industry or bar industry.
People grow up a little bit.
We grow up, right?
Now because of those people,
this is delicious.
There's an entire industry of drinks like this that people will drink So why the fuck would you say no to money that was not being made before? Why do you ignore a new stream of income?
Right, because the drinking culture is changing in Florida, which is really unusual.
Really unusual.
Maybe that's because people are getting older or whatever. Yeah. New generation isn't really showing up that much to drink. From what I know, I don't know.
Right.
They vape more.
If you do a little bit of research, generation Gen Z spends the most money at a music venue bar, and it averages at about $38 a week.
Wow.
If you take it in a year stretch of time, and I think that's a fucking low estimate.
So what do you think provides like the best night for what you do? Because I see you at Earl's, and it's like an event every time you play. Yeah. If you can get that everywhere, that'd be amazing. Do you get that in most places?
I get that there. I get it at Connolly's every fucking
down
time.
In West Palm Beach, yeah.
I get it at Connolly's, man. Let me tell you that we came in there, and that place
packed
from the fucking start.
And the reason I ask is because it looks to me like when I walk in these places, everybody's just drinking freely and having a good time.
Yeah.
So I don't see where
money being made hand over fist at some of these places, and that is the model here. That's 30 years of the model. You're not selling music, you're selling alcohol.
Right, the bar venues, that's how they make their money. Right. Yeah, sure.
Except that market is starting to
shrink. That's crazy.
Have you noticed a decline in the number of venues providing live music?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's
there's
getting
always,
tougher and tougher. Yeah. Now, and then you've got the new venues. Okay, there's a venue that I work with. It's called Country Line Saloon. And they're new, and they're out in the middle of nowhere practically to some people. And it's trying to get them, people to know that there's live entertainment there. Go out there. They've got some live entertainment on the weekends. The problem is it's an outdoor stage that's not covered yet, but they're working on that. So now we have to deal with the weather here in Florida. Yeah. So that kind of takes a toll and effect on, what time the band starts, if it rains prior.
And you've got people, and if I may, and you have people that are just used to going to their place.
Right.
And they don't want to go anywhere else.
They don't want to go anywhere else. They get stuck into a situation that they just don't wander elsewhere because they don't want to learn something new.
And because it's cheaper to Uber closer.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true.
People don't buy music, absorb music like they used to. It's all different now. We talked about that. There's no more music business.
There is no more music business. It's nothing but. This is why the guys that did the struggle to be original artists can be successful in the cover world because we know that every week, actually, it's 24 hours a day. Even when I'm sleeping, I'm still fighting to survive. And I don't mean that. I mean that in a weird sense because I don't mean financially. I mean that I have a drive that can never, ever, ever be satisfied.
Well, the problem is, like I said, the budget cutbacks, venue cutbacks, venues going out of business because they can't afford the high labor costs. All their other expenses that go out there, the food costs, liquor costs, things like that, and employees stealing from them. It costs them. It costs them.
Overpours, underpours. Yep, pours,
exactly. And
everybody has sat and watched the fucking episode or 7 or 8 of Bar Rescue.
Yeah.
And I know of a number of bars right here in our area that were rescued.
And still closed.
And
they still closed.
Yeah, every time every town I visit, there's always some venue that's closing.
Yeah.
Well,
what happened to so-and-so? Oh, they closed down.
In the 10 years I've been here, I have seen venues come and go, or venue owners, I should say, come and go, and things change multiple hands. But what happens is, all it does is change ownership. Nothing changes about the venue, or not.
I've witnessed that in Orlando.
I'm trying to figure out. From this day forward, mark this. Let's just watch between now and next year. How many people open a tiki bar?
Right.
Within 100 miles in either direction of Europe?
And they do.
How many tiki bars are going to open?
And they do, but the problem is it sustainable to provide live entertainment? That's the problem.
There are 6 months of the year that is rainy season,
right? Yeah,
and some of that is fucking hurricane season.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't understand. Not only that, we've been screaming about climate fucking change and
it's hard on the musicians out there
heating up and all this other shit for 30 years now. I've had to listen to Al Gore started this crap, right? So we're out of, but it's true. It's fucking hot. It
is hot out there for a lot of these musicians, and I worry about their health conditions.
So why can't somebody over here, because it's different on the West Coast.
It's always different.
Over here, think bigger.
Right. You know,
is it insurance?
The insurance rates are through the roof.
Didn't you tell me there was going to be a big venue opening up in Sebastian somewhere? Wow.
But it's like a pickleball thing. There's some place.
See what I mean? It's like, what makes a great owner? You know what I mean? Like you meet these, like Stet.
Right. Yeah.
Right. You meet people that do it soulfully for the great reason, to provide entertainment for people, to provide a safe
from
space.
Pipers. Yep. I was going to say Greg Watts from Pipers, and
I don't know
a lot of times
guy.
we work different shows together, and he'll have a musician there, and I'll take him up here, and so we can get these musicians a full route through Florida. And
I've been to Pipers. I like that place. Yeah.
So, absolutely.
There's that's the thing when I talk about the network. This is the network. This is how this fucking network works. Okay, Karen, Orlando, Daytona.
I go out of state too. I go out of state, and
you do, but your specialty is very much around that.
Central
It's like a mafia meeting. Right? I take this territory, you got that territory.
I know everybody
here. Yep, you do.
You have
Vic over on the West Coast.
On the West Coast at OCC.
Greg down in South Florida.
You have Greg in South Florida at Pipers, and Marcus in
over there
at the Twisted Fork.
Yep.
So it encompasses about 1,000 miles, it's 1,200 miles of people that know the ins and outs of like this network. Now the idea here is within the next year to build this so that we can actually start bringing a different groups of bands through the area.
Well,
because there's so many. I get it. I get the need to survive and the need to have music, but I feel like sometimes same old shit.
It's a struggle.
Is what's causing the problem for the venues not making money.
Yeah, it's a struggle because even as I tell some of the venue owners, they'll try something. I'm like, you got to stay consistent with it. If you have a band this week and then you decide not to next week because you can't fit it in your budget for whatever reason, cut back on something else, but stay consistent. Yeah. Keep the music or they're going to stop coming, and that's why you're going to fail. You may spend more in your first year of being in business, but long term, it's going to pay off. Right. Short term versus midterm versus long term. And consistency is everything. It's like making that perfect recipe. When you're making banana bread, I don't care whether you make meatloaf. I don't care.
It's great analogy.
Whatever. It takes time to make perfection of it, to make the quality ingredients, to make it work and be tasteful for everybody.
We live in a very like we want things done now kind of time.
It has a lot to do with understanding the sound of your venue too.
It is.
Because when I'm discussing with sound people,
that's huge.
About a new venue, right?
That's always huge.
The size of the venue is very important, and people don't understand the way that music
distributes.
Yeah,
it distributes throughout the buildings.
The height of the ceiling is very, very.
You got to look at it. How's it made? How's the structural?
The structure of the building, whether it's steel, whether it is fucking concrete, whether it is a tiled floor, whether it's a carpeted floor, whether it's a wood stage or a composite stage or a.
Yep.
There are so
many. Is the stage hollow underneath?
Important. It sounds like nitpicky bullshit. But it's not.
It's not. And the other thing is too, some guys, they got to remember, look at the audience. Are you playing music so loud that there's only 10, 15 people in here that can't even communicate? And it keeps the first person opens the door and says, oh, too loud. I'm going back out.
That's funny.
That's happened. I've watched it happen.
I joke about it. I've watched it happen. I say if it's too loud, you're too old.
Yeah.
But when you're playing in a small venue,
right,
it requires alcohol sales to pay your salary.
Right.
Your job is to work within the comfortability of the auditory needs of the venue.
Right.
You're playing a concert.
Right. When Timmy and Johnny are at the bar talking about politics, they don't want to hear the band, It's like.
I mean, if it's a concert,
Why do we come here?
Different animal. People
Right, it's
want to
different.
be fucking. They want to feel it.
Exactly.
you
They
know?
want to feel the vibration at a concert venue. But if you're playing a small, I don't care if it's a dive bar or, it's kind of like you're having a tribute band. Don't make it so people don't want to be there.
Right.
Don't make it so that
Right.
it's miserable for them. And they're like, can't hear you. And they go home and they're like, my ears are still ringing. It was too crazy, too loud.
Because live
but they
music
couldn't
does
even
change the room. It changes
it
the room.
changes the room.
You
The
know?
sound guys, listen.
And the
It's
amount
just-
of people.
and the amount of people. Pay attention to that because I'm the one that gets the feedback from the venue owners or the band, and I have to listen to the good, the bad, and the ugly. And it happens. Trust me.
Yeah, but yeah,
it
See, but
does.
the key to that is
Your
find-
equipment too, and the wrong.
Well, you find the sound. You find people are going to say there are levels of sound guys, and there
are
but-
some
but
amazing ones I've worked with too. I will say that.
Some guys work best with some bands,
Correct.
and it is not a favoritism.
No.
It's not a. It's
They
just
just gel.
that
Yeah.
a professional band has a very fucking is a very ease of use band. If I was to call fucking Rob tomorrow.
Rob
And I
DeLuca.
say,
Yeah.
And I said, Rob, I got you a book. I got you a gig in Arizona. Whatever fucking date next week. Can you guys make it? He'd call me back in 15 minutes. These motherfuckers would all have their go bags ready,
Right,
ready to go
go.
already.
They are.
They'd be on a plane the next fucking day. They would go, and people don't get that most professionals want ease of use. I want to walk on any stage that I fucking play, any stage in the country, any stage in Florida, and I want my amp to sound the fucking same.
Just
I
after
want
you've
my
traveled all
voice to
day, yeah.
sound the same.
Same.
Yeah.
I want my in-ear mix to be the same. And the truth is, it's never going to be that way because everybody has a different taste and a different thing.
Correct. That is correct.
You know, and when these places have their own sound people, like the team at OCC, Brian
Right.
and those guys,
They're
at
great.
OCC,
They're
they
great.
know me at this
They're great.
point.
So they know.
And
what-
I don't play there as often as some of the other bands that
Right.
do. But when I get there, our
They're good people.
Shovelhed setup is so fucking simple, plug and play and go, that
those are the ones
they
you want
can
to work
get a
with.
mix and a sound check during
Yeah.
my first song.
Well, that's
and
about being
still sound
that's
shitty.
about being a professional.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like when
I
you
don't
guys are
have to
tight, you
ask
know what
for
you're doing.
things in my in-ears because they know exactly
They
what
know.
I
Right.
want.
Mhm.
You know, they're
You know how to communicate to these
Yeah.
people. You know what I mean? There's a way to communicate to them where they
you know,
just
but
don't get
I
annoyed.
have had that sound guy that's a Nazi too. You know, and that's fucking.
Right.
Some of those guys can be they're miserable. They don't want to be there.
Now, I do work with some really good sound guys. I
Yeah.
will say that in Central Florida. I'm blessed in many ways to work with some
The
great
people
sound
you
guys.
meet in
You've
this
seen
business,
that.
right? The people you meet in this business that make things go easy are the
Right.
ones that want to be there and
They
care.
want to be there. Yeah.
When you don't get
But
that, you get.
They cost money,
They cost money.
and they're worth every fucking dime. Pay it.
Right.
Pay it.
You know, and
You're going to get the money back in one way or another.
one
Yeah.
way or another, you know, and the thing is, if you spend the money there, and some of the venue owners, I know they struggle, and I keep telling them, get a house PA system, have it there, because not everybody carries everything. They don't have, just remember, the more they have to carry, the more they're going to charge you to play at your venue. I keep trying to tell people
If
that.
the venues just had powered speakers and subs
Mm-hmm. It helps
in a
so much.
central section that I could walk in with my head, plug it in, and control it with my laptop, which is what all of us fucking do now. We all
Wow.
have a little Behringer X32 or like-minded, which could fit in a suitcase.
Right.
You know, I have my mix on it, and usually everywhere else I play, I could take the mix file, and give it to them and say,
Right.
"Here it is," and the band would walk in and know exactly where to plug in,
Right.
what to do, because it's made to be easy.
Right.
And I do have some venue owners, they think when I'm booking a band for them, they don't realize that sometimes those bands can't run their own sound. I've got to call around and get a sound person that's going to be able to travel to wherever they need to be beyond the schedule that they need to be on.
I'm laughing because I've had a few gigs like that, especially like in Europe sometimes. You show up someplace, you know, far into the mountains.
Yeah.
And it's just the gears up there and you're like, there you go. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
you're
It's like,
like,
what do you
wait.
do? You know, Ricky will go crazy setting up the gear. We're like, oh, it gets so basement. It gets so garage
But it
basement.
does happen. So venue
It
owners
happens once in a while.
and the venue owners are like, well, why does it cost me so much? Because I have to get a separate sound guy. I have to get the bands. And, you know, I'm trying to bring you the right entertainment.
It
But
just makes me laugh.
and it's difficult. That's the stressful part of my job.
Yeah.
Honestly, it is stressful sometimes because I have to know the venue. I've got to, like, I have venues that are outdoors. They don't have PA. They don't have anything, and they don't have a cover stage. So I got to make sure that these things are in place. I have some bands say, listen, if it's not covered, I'm not putting my expensive gear out there. You know, that's one of the things I've got to take that.
We won't play.
Yeah. So, but then some bands don't mind because, you know, they're like, okay, you know, we know that it's going to rain and we'll wait and we'll start a little late. That's fine. But again, venues are getting smaller by the day because of, you know, insurance rates.
Yeah.
The cost for the liquor, the labor costs, the food costs, the insurance just and not only that, their rent. Sometimes the rent is outrageous if they don't own the building or anything.
Sure. I always feel bad for the staff, you know.
New places, exactly. And by the way, my phones are just blowing up and I feel guilty because I'm not answering calls. Sorry guys, if you're anybody's watching this, but I'm getting venues calling me and texting and I'd love to.
So you're good like that. You're always moving. I'm like, nah.
So, you know, but one thing.
You have to be a little ADD for this business.
Yeah. So one thing is, you know, I appreciate the opportunity that the venues that I get to work with, I'm grateful to them that work with me, that give me that opportunity. I'm grateful to the musicians like you guys that will work with me, both of you.
We love you.
Let me book with you guys.
We love you, man.
I love you too. You know, and sometimes I get these musicians call me, hey sis, I got to fly out of Orlando airport. And by any chance, sis, could I leave my car at your place for a week? And could you take me to the airport and could you pick me up when I come back?
What kind of needy fucker would do that to you?
I have bands that I will drive hours to go help them out. Is that not true?
It's true. It's true. Like I said, you got to have soulful people that really care.
Yeah. So, and you know, because how much do I pay you? I don't get paid for this. It's building relationships and working with people.
Well, I'm so glad you said that. Okay. Because
what, that I'm needy?
No. It's the not getting paid for it part.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's true.
Is that what people don't understand is that most of us start doing this knowing we're losing money.
A lot of times I lose money.
Yeah.
Yeah. On gigs, I'll lose money.
And you have to go into it. And this is why sometimes I get so goddamn angry that people can only see their own shit, is that they don't get the big picture.
Right.
They're not seeing the enormity of the situation, that the people that are doing things. So if I am creating your advertisements for your bar as your band that you're hiring, you're actually getting a $700 a month free job.
You are.
Me.
Yeah.
You're a free marketing guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I charge $700 a month when I do marketing for a business. That's my going rate.
Right.
Okay. And that's fucking cheap. So when these venues say, I can't afford you, and then I start to get angry because I'm like, listen, not only are you paying me under my value, but you're also getting $700 a month in fucking advertising out of me too, because I don't stop. I advertise 30 days out. I don't advertise the week before, like most.
I'm always trying to get out there as quickly as possible, so as I can get the artwork together. Like I said, you know.
Well, see, that's the other thing.
Pretty Boy Floyd's coming.
Is that people don't get the time that it takes to make it, to proof it, to double check it, to print it, to make sure that it's going to look good hanging on the wall, to figure out how you can get the cheapest at the least amount of money, the most of them at the least amount of money, blah, blah, blah. All these fucking things are involved with bringing people to your venue. Yeah.
It's, you know, and it is tough, but I feel bad for the venue owners too. I do feel bad for them. I do.
You have to spend money to make money.
We do have to
you can't just be a musician. You have to do a million jobs too. You know, it's like you do a million tasks.
I told you, I'm be the opposite fucking viewpoint, because I love it.
Yeah.
I want people to be able to see all the sides, because
it is
where I can say some pretty harsh things about the venues, I also do the same thing about the bands. Right. I don't play favorites. I feel that there is
your posts crack me up, man.
If you want to be at a certain level,
it's funny,
whether it's a business or a band, you have to fucking be in competition with yourself.
Yeah.
Every day. every fucking day when you clock in for work, whether you're the musician, you know that you got an interview or a webcast or a podcast or a fucking gig or whatever it is, you're prepping hours in advance before you get there. The night before, you're thinking about the things that you might say or what you're not going to say or how you're going to promote this or who you're going to work with tomorrow or the 47 messages she has to get back to now. You know, like all these fucking things go into it.
Tons.
While these people are walking in and not paying attention to that part of it. And they're just saying, how can I get more people here? Pay attention to what we're doing.
Right.
You know, pay attention to the people who are in the trenches, bringing the marketing to you and bringing the people to you. Now, if they're not doing it, they're not as invested in themselves because they know that they have to do it in order to get to a level. Right. You know, you look at a lot of local bands now are shooting videos, like high quality fucking videos.
They are. You know, speaking of the musicians, by the way, there's some really good musicians out there that are underrated. They don't get the opportunities because sometimes even whoever books them have this clique of who they only want in a venue or the venue owner with that. And that's the sad part too, because to me, you have to be diversified to learn what people like.
Yeah, people got to take chances, man. People
taking chances. We're taking chances all day long.
Well, you have a viewpoint that's successful with things, you know. People should listen. I mean, if a guy's got a venue, the only way to be smart, you have to hire smart people around you. You know what I mean?
Do you have a water?
I do.
I'll take a water. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, sir.
I gotta hydrate this body.
I'm not even done with this one yet. I'm
actually,
like,
you know why I drink water after I drink a soda? I know that you guys think I'm crazy, but Coke's gonna kill me.
It's like lemon water.
Well, I'll take it. But you know what's good about that is it rinses the sugar off my teeth and kind of mixes, you know, so it's not so much sugar in my body.
I need to be sweeter. Sugar, caffeine, nicotine.
Yeah. That's my caffeine of the day.
Maybe that's why I'm so tired. I've been cutting back on sugar, and I'm just like tired all the time.
Yeah, fatigued, just drained.
Yeah, but that's because you're used to snacking on bullshit that gets you through for a few hours.
See, I know you're doing live on your feed for Shovelhed, right? Yeah. So I'd like to go grab my phone and go a little live for a few minutes on my Facebook page, if you don't mind, just for people that don't see it right away, so they can kind of see what we're talking about. And even if we have to recap, you guys hold on.
Absolutely, go do it. Get it.
Your brain's on fire.
Where are you going next? Where do you play next?
We're off all of July for recording, so I got to fly to New York.
Ooh, how many songs?
I think I'm going to track 6 or 7 when I go up on this trip. And then we'll do like the rest, maybe in October.
All right. Tell me the process.
Oh, wow.
Tell me who are they written?
Yeah, the 7 tracks.
Lyrics.
Yeah, everything's written already. Yeah, it's written. It's been a really like a collaborative effort. You know, things get sent back and forth.
Yeah.
You know, Robbie has become quite the song craftsman. He sent me a tune. I was like, I don't need to do anything to this. Here. It's just a perfect piece of music. You know, but it really more or less it's a collaborative. Things get sent around and around and around because we live in separate places.
Right.
And I think
isn't that fucking cool though?
It's amazing. We can do that now.
Here's a real funny fucking story, right?
So by the way, we're live on Facebook on my page. Hi everybody.
Hey.
I think I want to say 2000. There was when MP3s became the fucking big thing.
Yeah.
There was a site called mp3.com.
Yeah, I think I know that.
Most musicians had a band page on there.
Remember MySpace? Do you remember MySpace too?
Oh my God, yeah.
MySpace was first.
Yeah.
And then mp3.com came around, and it was a way for unknown musicians to have like a community.
Yeah, that and Reverb Nation too.
Yeah, it was like a precursor to Reverb Nation. But it was for some fucking reason because MP3 was a new technology. And people could easily get free music because artists would give it away because they wanted attention. They wanted a chart. You could get into a chart position, and then artists were fighting for chart positions. And it also became a really good way to build a community. Was that
this is for all you musicians out here, by the way, and venue owners that we're talking about.
I met a lot of fucking great people that hustled their asses off and were able to do Where was I going with this?
I think we were talking about the process of
with
writing and
M3.
recording. And then we went to M3.
So I don't know who suggested it. There was a group of people in a blues community, and we all lived all over the fucking world, and we decided to record a song together. And the way that we did it was passing around this
the file.
MP3.
And it started with the drummer and a rhythm section, and then they sent it to each guitar player to do like a 4-measure or a 6-measure solo, one right after the other, and it took like a year to produce it, but it was like the first fucking one. And like if you can Google it and you'll find it somewhere, it was the MP3 Blues All Stars, but it was fucking amazing.
Wow, amazing.
Now, what you can do is so much
you got
you could do the process from you could do the process from your couch
live.
You know what I mean?
Live.
But so what we just did back, we pass around the material, but we're recording in the central place now. So that's why we recorded East Street Studios in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, because our buddy Tommy Camusa has a Neve board there, and those are like there's not many. Yeah, so we like to do that. Plus, it's about craftsmanship, so. I think we've worked on a really good batch of songs so far, but the process of getting the material together was actually easy because we have that, we have the laptops and everything. But it's great to go to a central place. I'm going to fly to New York and we're going to record again. I like that old school feeling of going to a studio still. Me too. We can have a great mic at home, but there's some vibe with being in a live room. When you go, so do you, when you, this was my thing is I want the lights off. I bring candles. Oh, I have incense or a scented candle burning and multiple prostitutes, everything. No, I'm just kidding. I want a mood. I want to for me when I sing it's an emotional full body experience for me. I'm not even thinking about anybody else.
Almost like an actor in a movie.
Yeah,
it is. But
put yourself into that place.
But it's a script that you've written.
Correct.
Exactly.
So it's your.
That's what I love.
So it's like it's the Rocky thing. Right. You write something, you're the underdog, you're gonna go lay it down, make it great. It's gonna, so it's as raw as you can get. But there's something really old school about just putting it together and still doing it the old school way. Yeah. On a good mic and all that, some $5,000 microphone that I can't fucking own.
And do it on a 2-inch tape.
Oh yeah, man, get all the razors out. So, remember?
Man.
People made a career just cutting tape.
Fun of it, but remember how big it sounded?
Yeah. A warm room. When I recorded the record plant, that shit blew my mind, man. The playback was so loud, and we got stoned as fuck.
Okay, I didn't hear that.
I was like, this is the greatest thing ever recorded, man.
Of course,
but it's
you're doing it in a place where every rock star on the planet has fucking done lines of coke in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Back in the days they did.
Yeah, so you're like, I'm going to try
But it's cool to go back into we play live so much that the creative has been left out. So it's nice to go back into that sort of bubble and really just create something.
Manhattan?
Yeah.
You know that feeling when you walk in that?
Oh, yeah, man.
And you're like, I'm in the halls of greatness.
Right? Oh, I was there when Kiss was there back in the day. And I was outside. There's a crowd of people waiting, I guess, for some. Okay. So there's a crowd of people waiting outside. I just go out to take a break from our little room. And I'm like, there's an awful lot of people here. And beside me, it's Gene Simmons comes up walking out. And he looks at me and goes, are they here for you? I'm like, oh, no.
I could see Gene saying that.
But I remember that room. That was great. He was funny as fuck.
Oh my God.
But I like, we are going back to being creative, and I needed that in my life. Yeah. That act is something that I really cherish. That's really cool.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to say, by the way, for my Facebook friends that are on there watching live, I just want to make some quick introductions because I don't think everybody really knows who everybody is.
That's true.
So Warren was Shovelhed, an Eat Crow tribute to the Black Crows. To my right, a rock star here.
Howdy.
I'm actually at his live podcast, and I just want to introduce him. He's going to be coming to the Good Times in Maitland, Good Times Bar and Grill on Sunday, 7th. Yeah, Sunday, September 7th. The tickets are on sale now on Eventbrite, by the way. Love to have you guys come out and see these guys. We have Ray West to the left of me, another rock star.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, with Spread Eagle. And he also has an original band of his own, writes original music as well. So, by the way, I've even sent him stuff when I'm driving down the road and Sirius XM with Eddie Trunk comes on and plays some of their music, plays Ray West music. And the next token, he played Spread Eagle. And I sent it to Ray. And I'm like, Ray, check this out. And it was right after I dropped him off at the airport. I thought that was kind of strange. Remember that?
Yeah.
is weird.
That was like, dude.
Somebody always sends me a snapshot of their Hair Nation when you come on.
I
It's
send you that. I send that to him too. So
like,
it's kinda
okay.
cool. But we're talking about venues, musicians, artists, cover bands, original bands, tribute bands, and just all the crap we go through. Even as a talent agent, and all the talent agents out there, I feel your pain. Trust me, I do. We bust our asses sometimes for very little money, no money, some money. And I always say, what's the value of a band? What's the value of a talent agent? And what is the value of the artists and the venues? So,
which takes us back to the music. It's all about the songs.
it's about the music.
Without the songs, there's nothing. There's no cover business. There's no tribute business.
That's true.
You need the songs.
You know, sometimes I feel like I'm running in circles sometimes because there's so many people I want to help and I can't help everybody because not every venue wants those musicians or their budgets don't allow it. And it's so disheartening to me when I can't put somebody in a venue or there's not enough weekends or days in the week to put them because again, there's been so many budget cutbacks, you know.
Right. And when you know a band is good and you can't get them in the venue, that's a shitty feeling.
gut-wrenching.
So
Gut-wrenching.
I upset a lot of original guys when I was doing some bookings, and
What did you do?
not on purpose. It's that they wanted to get booked, and I would tell them flat out, I can't book original bands; it doesn't sell here. And any original band would find a little offense to that, and I totally get it, you know. But as a guy who spent 25 years of my life from profiting off of being an original artist, I fucking get it. However, it takes. Yeah, I mean, it takes way more than the music.
It's every bit of your life given to it.
Every bit of your fucking life given to it. And I salute the people that are still writing music and releasing their own music because I don't know how the fuck it was a fucking rat race in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Matter of fact, here's another original artist band that's calling in, and I'm going to just put him on speaker. You mind?
Who is it?
John. Hold on. I'm going to put John with Surrender to Eden.
Who?
John, you're on speaker. Original artist, Surrender to Eden. I'm in the live podcast right now. Hello, John.
Hey, Karen, how are you?
Well, you're live and Facebook is watching you. If you're on my Facebook page, you'll see that you're calling in along with a bunch of others that I haven't taken calls or messages returned yet. But we're in the middle of a live podcast and I wanted to say hello and introduce you to Ray West with Spread Eagle and Warren, who's with Shovelhed Band out of Florida here, as well as Eat Crow, Black Crows. And I will tell you, John, Surrender to Eden, he did our bike week over in Daytona, over at Boot Hill. He also opened up for Kurt Dimer, who's been out on a tour, opening up with Tesla, Buck Cherry, and all them.
Is it a new band or has it been around a while?
Well, he's an original artist. Surrender to Eden. Say hello, John. And you just opened up for Jackal, didn't you?
Yes, we did. Hey, guys, how are you?
How are you?
How you doing, buddy?
Good. Pleasure to meet you.
So
you're from the fucking Northeast, aren't you?
He's an original artist.
Oh, I can hear it. I can hear it in his voice. He's either from Connecticut or Long Island or somewhere.
So they opened up at the barn, by the way. You played at the barn too for George Lynch. Wasn't it George Lynch? Yeah, you opened up for George Lynch. So if you like Queensryche, these guys sound just like them.
Oh, nice.
Just like them. So I didn't want to ignore you, John, when you're calling in, but we're in the middle of the podcast. I wanted you to say hello, and you know I'm going to return your call. Do I not ever return calls?
Absolutely. You are the best.
And by the way, they signed with our agency, Laser Focus Talent Agency.
Nice.
Yeah.
How long they been together?
John.
How long the band been together?
The band's been together about 2 years now.
Oh, right. Okay. I was wondering if there was a song I would know or something. Okay. Well, good luck, buddy.
Share the music. I'll share some of this music
definitely.
with you guys.
Karen Laser, look her up so that you can see what she shares.
I'll share some, John, and I'll be in touch with you when I'm done here today.
All right, dear. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And it was a pleasure meeting you. I hope to do things in the future with you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye, John.
You as well.
Bye-bye.
Bye, dear.
Yeah, that's the next thing too. Is I got to figure out how I can bring on another like a Facebook guest.
Oh,
Do it over Zoom.
Yeah.
I have tons of messages returned.
I like this vibe. This is great.
I did. You know what? The lights start to get to me after a fucking while.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm stoned, and the more I drink, the more stoned
This is-
I am.
this-
And
This
I'm
is
the
awesome.
Sober one. I'm the sober one.
This is
Gotta
awesome.
keep somebody sober here.
And I was going to say the reason I asked about how long the band's been together, because going back to our conversation, my band has a little bit of history. So that's how we're able to play off that,
Correct.
you know, and I think it's, when you're starting a brand new band, it's very difficult in the now.
Yes.
So I commend everybody just for doing it and getting in the game.
How the fuck do you, so
I don't sleep or eat
I have
anymore.
not gotten into the understanding of the TikToks and like I've become the old man and on Facebook because I still can't even fucking get Instagram.
Well, Brand tells me that the Facebook demographic is 40 up.
It is. It's
And the
40,
kids all do
it's fucking
Insta,
amazing.
and the kids do TikTok.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the old folks get Facebook.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
right.
us.
I'm an old folk, and I admit it. Okay, so I want to give a cheers out to my daughter, Ashley. Tomorrow she is going to be 40 years old. So yes, I'm that old, and I didn't have any kids in high school. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. Today's her last day of being 39. I hope she enjoys it to the fullest with all her 5 kids and her husband. Enjoy them immensely. And welcome to what I was once in the 40s tomorrow.
The next chapter.
Yeah, the next chapter of your life. And, but anyway, back to promoting you guys. So we already created a flyer for you. So if you go to my Facebook page under Karen Laser even, you'll see the Eat Crow show coming up with Gray. Soon we'll be promoting Ray West with Spread Eagle performing at Brass Mug on October 17th, October 16th at Stutz Bar, and then working on another venue.
We're playing the Brass Mug?
You're going to play at the Brass Mug,
Oh, I like that place.
October 17th.
Hey, what the fuck happened to?
See, I don't know shit.
I'm sorry. Finish, and then I'll ask a question.
Go ahead, ask your question.
No, it's.
Can I just say real quick how cool it is that you guys are working together?
How cool is it?
Knowing you
All
both
our-
separately, and separately. And then,
Didn't I tell you the story? I thought I told you the story.
oh, well, she thought you said something?
Yeah.
Somebody told her that I was talking shit about her.
And he was going to sabotage what I was working on or something.
Yeah, and
was
I
like,
never met her before. And then one day I sent her.
He doesn't want to work with me. Yeah.
And I was just like, "Hey, would you ever consider working with Eat Crow or Shovelhed?" And fucking, she's like, "Call me." So I called her, like, and she's like, "You're not gonna believe this, but like, I was just thinking that this morning."
Well, what was ironic is I had them down in South Florida. I had to go pick them up at the airport. Another pickup abandoned in the airport.
Yeah.
It's story
You're
about
so
you.
good.
Oh, that's you. That's
No,
right.
this is not the first time that I've done stuff for him at the airport. And this is another time I picked up Rob and everybody.
It's part of our thing, you know? It's a thing.
So we were at the, I picked them up and we were getting ready for their show that night. And by the way, Out of the Ashes performed with them and great band, amazing original music. Again, Out of the Ashes and Maximum Friction. But we're sitting around talking.
Nice people.
And you were playing at Conley's that night. And that's when somebody called me on my way down there and they said, "Oh, I heard the news." And you were trying to sabotage me that
Oh, yeah, I got a kick out of it. I got a kick out of this conversation.
we got a kick out of it. I
was
"Does
like,
he not
what?
like me?"
No.
I asked Ray, I go, "Does he not like me? Is there a reason why he doesn't like me?" And he goes, "I don't know." I go, "I heard, but is it true or not?" So I said, "Will you do me a favor? When you talk to Warren next time, will you please ask him?" And then you forgot to ask. So when you,
Because I'm like that.
you're like that. Okay. So I have to remember for you. So anyway, I saw your message and I'm like, "Dude, we need to talk."
Yeah. It was just so fucking weird.
It was
because
crazy.
That's the other part of
But
this.
you were down the road right from where they were performing that night.
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh yeah, he planned it that way." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
But it just takes one small thing
it was just so weird. I'm like, okay.
to get
so-
shit weird.
But at the same time, I was like, well, how do you find the answers? You go direct to the source and ask.
That's
That's
it.
me. And I said, well, I'm just transparent. I'm just going to go to the source and just ask the question, not tiptoe around it.
That's it.
But that's our
That's
school.
right.
That's the old
That's
school.
what I was saying
Yeah.
to her prior to this is that on the business side of this, it's the only way
Mhm.
for it to be.
Yeah.
Because anything other than complete and utter honesty is a
It's true.
waste of everybody's fucking time. Everybody.
Yeah, and it creates like resentment and dumb shit
It
when you don't
does.
communicate. Clear communication is everything. That's why we do this.
Right.
This is clear communication.
Yeah.
And
And then
actually,
the silliest thing is that at some point, we could be talking about things that to us have seemed very basic, but somebody learns a lesson from it.
Right.
Or I don't know you, okay? And I got your email address from somebody who said, contact this woman because she's a booking agent. And she's doing things. And so I send you an email. What do you want to see? tell me what you want the first contact
To
to
see.
be from somebody who's looking to be represented by an agent.
The first thing that I want to see is not just the number of followers, but how you present yourself in the environment that you're going to perform in. That's just as important. And seeing a good EPK, nothing that's messy. Make sure that it's legible, like your handwriting. So if you're typing, it's good. But make sure that the EPKs you're sending me are great. And any links that you have, as many places you play at, I'd like to know where you play at. How often do you play at those places? What's your best contact number? What's the best hours to reach you? Because it's not always a good time to contact everybody either.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you, my phone goes 24/7. I barely sleep. I get 2 to 3 hours of sleep a night. That is no exaggeration. That is the truth. You're laughing. The other night I slept an hour. I set my alarm and it's crazy. And I have to set my alarm because I'm so afraid I'm going to oversleep or something.
You're an original, man. You really are.
It freaks me out. It does. And my friends know. And you know, like we just had a 4th of July weekend, bands booked and stuff. As much as I wanted to go see the bands, do you know what I was doing? I was in my office reviewing contracts, the equipment writers, the hospitality writers, trying to get written proposed offers in, creating flyers, not exactly these, but other ones for upcoming shows, talking to the venue owners, finding out what their needs are, what's the budget, moving stuff around.
All right, so, but why does the average person think that anything that has to do with music is just a fucking hobby?
It's not a hobby.
Yeah, but
it's work and a
Because
hobby.
people can't grasp
why
doing this for a
why do
living.
they not understand at all that it's a business, or even then when you do show them that it's a business, they put less of a value on your business than they do on their own.
It happens.
It's a good question.
You know, like what makes the business of me providing music any less important than your business of a venue?
It's sort of a weird snobbery thing on the other end. I don't know. You know, it's.
And
I'm happy to work with some of the venue owners I get to work with. I mean, I think that some of them are really good.
But there are very few.
There's very few.
So,
and then there's some really great musicians, and there's some musicians just feel like they have a sense of entitlement.
Well, yes.
Is where you're going with that, I have.
Yeah.
That's what I think you were
going
with
that. There's both sides of this. There's two sides to it. There's two sides to the snobbery. There's two sides to the me.
Yeah.
And the truth is that if both fucking parties sat down and said to each other, how do we do this so everybody benefits?
Right. You know,
if they knew how hard it really was.
I could fucking show them really easily, but you gotta make some sacrifices.
Right. You know, and me, I feel guilty if I don't get back to a person within an hour or so. And sometimes, you know, my phones will act up and it's hard because sometimes, like this morning, I'll show you, before I drove all the way to Vero Beach, 2 hours from where I was at to be here today, Spectrum was down again since last night. I felt crippled, handcuffed and crippled. I could show you my text messages from Spectrum because I had to call up with the outages again. And I'm like, I can't get things done. I've got this stuff to do before I leave. And I finally just said, God, just get me where I've got to go safe and sound. That's all I ask for. And let my internet be up and running when I get back because I have a lot of work to do. So when those hours of downtime, it now snowballs and it makes it even harder for me to get back to somebody. And they're expecting.
You call Spectrum and you're
on
go
hold.
through the phone tree for fucking 45 goddamn minutes because when you finally
get through
and you say, the fourth, I think that's my phone, but the 4,000th time, representative.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you get somebody from another fucking country who you can't even understand.
I'm going to check my phone, make sure it's still live over there because I want people to see you guys and hear you guys.
It's live online.
Yeah.
But I do wonder about that, man. Why there is such a people think like that? That's weird, man.
Yeah, it's always been that way for as long as I've been in the music business.
Right.
It has always been the music and the musician part of the business has always kind of just not been taken as
maybe because it's not so academic,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, or until I can make it to the level of a Beyonce,
or
shit like that,
right?
Not worthy.
The MTVing of everybody, you know, people see rock star shit, MTV, you know, Cribs,
I miss your MTV and VH1 rock star days.
My Cribs and all that stuff. You know what I mean? That they think it looks easy.
Yeah.
So if it looks easy, then it's got to be like not serious.
It's not, and the thing is
Yo, MTV Raps.
what?
Yeah, but dude,
Ed Lover. Ed Lover.
You laugh all you want.
Yeah, man.
and you watched Cribs.
Oh yeah.
And you watched The Real World. And like even those first fucking couple of years of that shit, we all got sucked into it.
Yeah,
we did.
And,
I watch it up until like my 10-year-old daughter is pregnant thing. You know what I mean? It's I stopped there. I'm like, it got stupid.
I have a question to ask you. So what is one of your favorite venues you've ever performed at in Florida?
Oh, don't do that.
Oh, I have to ask in Florida.
Can't do that.
No, I'm not asking you. I'm asking him.
I know, but
no, in Florida because of his style is different. He's New York street metal
that's
style.
true.
So he's different. He's he's not the norm.
Right.
I liked Stet's place was great.
Stet's place was awesome.
Because Stet's place is built like there's a place.
It's a dive bar, but it's a cool dive bar.
But it's built for a band.
Right.
It's a huge stage at up level. It's a very high stage. It is a bar.
Stet coming here today.
It's that's probably my favorite room so far.
Yeah.
Stet, did you hear that?
Wait.
But
I also like the bar vibe of like that little Cagney's place.
Cagney's is pretty cool too.
Because there's something really.
Cagney's is really cool.
People do make up the room.
Yes.
And that's a place to me. They got a pool table, but the people make up the room. When they show up and they show out in there, there's no vibe that can touch that.
No, because they pile up all the way up in front of the
So
now,
that's probably number one.
Have you guys played at Pipers?
Never.
No,
I think actually we were talked to Greg a while back, but he wouldn't book us.
Yeah. Greg, we got to talk about that.
I think there's some
numbers up.
I think there's some risk assessment there for him or something.
Yeah,
He's like, they can't. No.
I have respect for the venues that have the risk.
I would love to work something out with him, but hopefully we will.
He knows his bar.
Yeah,
he does.
He knows what works.
He knows what works, what doesn't work.
I mean, when you got a way to make money, it's your tribs and cover. You don't want to mess with that, and I respect that. Yeah. So, but hopefully, he can have a conversation with whatever, and we can make something happen.
It's not easy. Period. For anybody.
It's tough because. Again, Greg knows what works. Like you said, we know what works for Greg's business, what doesn't work, and who's going to bring in money, who's going to spend money. What artists that are coming through. And again, Greg and I got some shows coming up together that we're sharing the same artists on a route with everybody. So we got some good stuff coming up. I talk to Greg quite often. We text.
Right, because we do well when we go to Davie in South Florida. So he doesn't know us yet.
Right.
So
yeah,
yeah, so good places. But I was going to say too, when you try a new venue, you got to learn to feel the room, feel the people, and I get that because you're learning how to deal with the sound guys and the light guys. And by the way, lighting is just as important as sound.
It is
with the band. It is. You put some of those wrong lights on it. Oh Lord!
Or the light. Or
green, the green. I hate it when it's green.
I've played places where you walk in, they just turn the lights on and leave them on. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done those.
Man.
Yeah.
Like bright lights.
You know what I mean? A couple flashlights, and then I've done as bad as it comes. We've done it all.
Yeah, but you remember in New York City, you get the red light, but
Well, there was a place
that was over.
There was a place in
I
Tampa.
did a comedy set where I went past the red light. They almost beat my ass one night.
Do you remember the place in Tampa where I'm not going to name names, but we did Spread Eagle there and had the band and they had the green lights on you. And I walked over and my friend also walked over and said, Linda and I said, get those lights changed
on
them.
God.
Oh, it was so bad. They looked so bad. They were just green.
It's like a box of chocolates.
You know what the thing is
it was nasty. And I was like, I can't videotape.
It sounds like we nitpick on shit like this.
No, but it's so important.
There's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
There's things
a vibe that sells music.
And when you said that, it's ironic because Ray, his whole demeanor changed when the light color changed at that.
Would you go to see Pink Floyd if Pink Floyd didn't put on a fucking light show and
it would be hard. It would be hard.
It's like when you go see Tool. Mm-hmm. It's like the greatest visual thing I've ever seen in my life, man.
That's the thing, is that, and then we get to the why a concert costs so much fucking money.
It's expensive.
Is people will flock to being entertained. If they can walk away from the experience and have been holy shitted.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the AC/DC concert. That was great. Amazing.
And so this is what I'm trying to create now, right?
Yeah.
Is
that experience.
I want that experience that does not rely on alcohol.
Right.
For it to survive.
Correct.
And it is the complete 100% opposite of the Florida business model. Because
if you can make that happen, man, geez.
Well,
we all want that to happen.
It's like, come on.
Be able to do, and I'm trying to work. I'm working all the hurdles through. Right?
There's a lot of hurdles.
Is that I don't need a space that looks cool because I can make a space look cool. I come from the era of putting gigs on in warehouses, finding shithole bars and making them look as fucking awesome as I could, because I knew that in order for people to pay attention to my original music, they had to see.
Yep.
They had something had to captivate them.
Because for you, it's not just a show. You want to create an event. It's an event, so that makes it special.
And everything is involved with that. The environment is so fucking important.
It is.
Because people want.
They want to have something to go back and talk about for the value of their money.
Yeah. The place is awesome, whatever.
Think about that, right? So,
I agree.
So speak of that, the experience. Not everybody can afford to pay for all the high price of the add-ons at Ticketmaster and all them. I hate to say Ticketmaster and all them that they add on for the service fees and all that and the taxes and so on. By the time you pay for parking on top of that, and then the high cost of the drinks and stuff, it really costs a person that much more to go out and have that experience. They work harder to have that experience. So that's why sometimes I work with the tribute bands, is to try to bring that kind of same experience, but at a different level where they can be cost effective.
Right.
And with the tribute bands, people are like, oh, but it's a tribute band. But those tribute bands, a lot of them are trying to learn the technique of the artists that they're trying to implement, emulate, I should say, and implement that into a show and be creative with their shows. And there's time and value to their time to learn mastering that as a tribute band. Yes, it's somebody else's music. I love original music. Again, Wednesday nights at the Good Times at Bar and Grill in Maitland. I'm doing Wednesday night showcases there, and we have one coming at Post Time in the fall here with Tom Cook and I for 5 bands, like I mentioned. But love working with original artists, get their music out. Sometimes having some of these original artists I'm doing, like Gray with you, having come out and open up for a tribute band.
Right.
So I try to mix it up a little bit so everybody gets a little bit of a taste of everything.
Sure.
I respect the catalogs. You know what I mean? Yeah. If someone does a catalog, great, that's good. I'm sorry I interrupted.
No, it's true. And, so is every tribute band a great tribute band? No, not necessarily.
But there are some good
There's some really good ones that are underrated, and maybe there's,
if you can create that experience with someone's catalog, and you dress up, you do the whole bit, that's all cool. It's just the ones that kind of like water it down too much.
Like, for
and
example,
it's diluted,
got the main metal guys coming in.
Or it's just not good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That kind of like, then it gets kind of goofy.
Yeah.
It does.
So I respect it if somebody did something well, and that's craftsmanship. I'll take that.
Yeah. Same here. And, I'm doing tribute bands there as well on Sundays. So just so you know, on Sundays and some Thursday nights there. And then I have another venue that I'm working with to put in some tribute bands there. But the problem with that venue is they don't have lights and sound. We have to hire an addition, and it's all ticket sales. And sometimes it's hard if these guys are traveling from out of town. I've got a Duran Duran tribute band coming in and stuff like that. I've got a
restroom.
Led Zeppelin and a few other ones coming in. So we have some great tribute bands. We're not going to knock it because we have some really good ones.
Am I heading the right way?
And
this way.
He's trying to find the biffy.
Yeah, just try not to trip over the shit.
Oh, good luck with.
And I'm sorry for people that are waiting on me to return calls, but you're just going to.
We are going to wrap it up.
No, we're good.
Anyway, so
make them wait. We say no. I'm just kidding.
So, where do you post all of your promos?
I do it on my page, my talent agency page, my personal page even too, because I want to make sure that people know, my friends that know me that don't always follow.
Yeah, but you don't want to fucking flood a crazy friend request. So your page is which one?
Well, I do Laser Focus Talent Agency, and then I've got the Laser Focus Band Bookings and Business Solutions, and then I also have my personal page. But I'm also going out and creating flyers and putting them out. Different areas. Not only that, social media, like I mentioned, sometimes I'll bring them to the venues and have them for the venues to put out in bathrooms and stuff. So if you see them in some bathrooms, it was
so go to her pages. And if you think that you have something that is quality enough to an agent that is supportive of the scene, send her a message with an EPK. But here's the key to this whole thing is understand that don't hound her for a response. If she sees something she likes, she'll get in touch with you. It's pretty much that simple. And what ends up happening is sometimes the flood of emails comes in and you do not have the time to sit down and give the EPK the attention that you should. And we put it aside until there's time. And so, and it may be a couple of fucking days because she may be promoting a show on Thursday, working one Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday night. And at that point in your life, 5 days have gone by, but in hers, she's had 3 hours of sleep.
Yeah, it's very true.
You know, and there's that part of this that you don't get because, you know, you're an artist who's emotional. Allow some fucking time. And if she sees something she likes, she'll get back to you. If you don't hear from her in 4 months, that's an acceptable time to try again.
Yeah.
Be patient.
Well, and here's the thing. People don't realize. I went 9 days, again, to talk about Spectrum, 9 days with no internet. Try to work from that off your phone and trying to see what you can make happen.
Yeah.
And I can't just walk out of my office and sit in a Panera Bread all the time because after 45 minutes it drops. You have to re-log on. So people don't understand. There's things, and I have to be in an office environment, and I can't print off because it's not connecting. There's no connection. And so I'm like, this is not working. This is not working. But people don't realize 9 days without internet that I've had to deal with until they could come out, rewire. Now, then they rewire, and they're still coming back to rewire because that didn't work.
Every time it rains here, I
it's just been a nightmare.
For like an hour.
Yeah.
Florida living.
But it's not that I don't like
used to it.
Yeah, it's not like I'm ignoring anybody or don't like anybody, but it does take time.
Spectrum. Did you try like the
they've
T-Mobile
been digging. Well, Spectrum is my internet at my home office.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I tried it. I tried the mobile.
Yeah.
Like there's the T-Mobile
There's
home internet.
And we've had another
It
one.
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got no service. I had to go back to cable
Right.
for my internet service.
So
where are you? Where are you?
I'm in Sebastian, so we use Xfinity.
No. Where are you? You're July. You're off. So
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
August, we got gigs in Massachusetts, Maine. Then we take 2 weeks to chill. Then we're going to go to Europe and the UK. I would go to UK first, leaving the 25th. I'm sorry.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
You
Back
do
over there.
the.
We're going for like a
cruise in October.
That's in April.
In April, the
April,
Monsters
right.
Monsters of
So we
Rock
got,
Cruise. They're back on.
we got the UK EU tour. We're gone for like over a month. Then we come back and
fucked up. Here's the other part of this whole thing is people don't realize how our fan base is actually cross.
Right.
Like I have friends that now come to see you because they know you through me and then saw you on the cruise and they didn't know you before, but
that's
now
funny.
see you all the time.
Yeah.
it's funny.
Like I
believe
love.
Thank
how
you.
that
Thank you.
Works out. Yeah.
There are hardcore music people that
Yeah.
fucking find us all. It's weird.
And those are passionate, cool people when you meet them, you know, so.
He knows I'm talking about.
I do this because we all get to meet really cool people.
We do.
You know, and life is only so long. So you really want to pack in as much of cool people as you can.
And if I could say one thing about the talent agencies, I give kudos to all of you that do it the right way because there's so much time and money involved. People don't realize what it costs to get licensed, bonded, fingerprinted, background checks, all the stuff that goes into it, the time that we spend with the venue owner, learning about the venue to try to get an opportunity to book within that venue. And sometimes bands go right behind you, even though you got them in there first, and they don't see the value of the time that I've spent possibly 5.5 hours with someone waiting while they go talk to another vendor while I'm sitting there. And then they jump up to talk to another vendor, and I still can't leave because our conversation isn't finished yet. People don't realize the time and the energy that I have to put into it. Or when they call me and say, hey, listen, we need to change this band out. Can you do this? Can you do that? Or we're going to cancel because of this reason or that reason. And the time that sometimes I'm reaching out to the bands and they have to get with their drummer, their bass player, 4 or 5 people, and I'm waiting for responses back. It's tough.
Yeah.
And I don't think they see the value of an agency either.
Nope.
For the little money, if I'm taking 10% of a gig, they don't realize the time. Sometimes I'm going out and creating ads or flyers and sometimes for them, or they don't have the opportunity to make their own graphics or their own flyer. Or they make it and I share
they're
it.
not understanding that it's supposed to take
Or I'm sharing it with them.
It takes a village.
Yeah, it takes a village. So I feel like we're a team. We should be working together. It's like when you're back in elementary school, a school teacher needs the students. The students aren't going to teach the teacher. It's like, are you going to go around to go directly to the principal to learn what you need to learn? No,
Right.
It should be the same thing when it comes to booking with venues and agents.
It should be. Now,
right?
and here's I'm glad you used that analogy because I'm going to wrap this up too. My wife's calling, which means there's a fucking emergency.
There's an emergency.
But the teacher analogy is very true, is that people take teaching for granted.
Yeah.
They think that the job is fucking from the minute that the kids get to school to the minute the minute they drop their kids off at school to the minute they pick their kids up from school, and they don't realize that after hours, for fucking hours,
they're putting together the next day.
Putting together the next day's curriculum, putting together, making sure they've got all the supplies that are required to teach their children whatever the state has required them to follow along with for that fucking time period. And grading papers and all this shit that is hours later. And they're but they get the summers off. Well, yeah, well, they fucking work 17 hours a day to teach your kids.
But they don't realize in the summer, they're actually working on their curriculum for the fall already, for the fall and winter semesters.
But it's the same with the music business, is that people they take for granted the work that Ray has to do and Rob has to do as an original artist. Even at their level, right? Rob has to fucking hustle to book the band.
Rob's always hustling, and Rob and I communicate often, and I tell him what's going on, who I'm working on, what venues I'm working on for these guys here. And by the way, my thing that I'm looking for, more venues to work with that see the value of a band, of an artist, original artist, tribute bands, cover bands, acoustic, and willing to work within that budget with an agent. And let the agent help you build your brand out there.
Anywhere in Florida?
Anywhere in Florida. Even outside
Florida.
Anywhere in
Florida.
That's a lot of work, man. That's a lot of ground cover.
Dedicated people become to the art of entertaining.
Yeah.
She's willing to do the work, everybody.
And I drive, too.
Yeah. That's right.
And actually, when you pulled
Thanks for the ride, lady.
Truck, I'm like, you're fucking driving all over Florida in that?
Many times. Okay, so I do have.
And she drives fast too in that thing.
Oh yeah.
Karen,
oh my God.
They call me Karen Andretti. But no, here's the reason why I have a truck. People are like, "You drive a truck." I'm like, yeah, because you know how many times I get a call from a band that picked me up at the airport. I've got all this gear. I've got these instruments. My suitcases. I have my guitar cases and this and that, and I got my cymbals and da 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 da. So I see the value of my profession to help get the artists to the shows that they need to go to perform, that I'm signing them up for, so that they're not stuck waiting on Uber or somebody else that's not going to get them there timely or get them. It's a true story. Actually, I'll tell you, since we're talking about Titanium Tart earlier today, again at the barn, July 25th.
Always promoting,
yes. So Nico McBrain at Titanium Tart will be at the barn in Sanford, July 25th. Tickets are on sale at Eventbrite, and we have a couple bands opening up for them. And let me just share this with you. A year ago around this time, Nico was performing there, and we had two bands. We had Just Priest, which is the Judas Priest tribute, and we had the band Jetter, which is an original artist out of Tampa. Yep. I was doing my other career job that I work full time, and I knew I had that show that afternoon at the barn that I had to hurry up, but I had a POS install, which is a point of sale system, by the way, not a piece of shit, but it's a point of sale system.
Which can be a piece of shit sometimes.
Yeah, can be. Yeah. So I had to get this merchant up and running, a restaurant, and get him taking credit cards because the system went down the night before. So I'm taking care of them when I get this call, or I get the text message, the band Jetter's on their way. I said, great. We should be there by such and such. Great. Not even 5 minutes later, I get this text message. We just broke down. Uh-huh. We are sitting on the side of the road with our truck, our Blazer, and all of our trailer and our gear.
Oh, man.
No, the engine went out on it. They just got a brand new Chevy Tahoe, and the engine went out on it. And I am on the opposite end out by Kissimmee. I said, listen, I'm in my car. I have a truck with a trailer hitch. And I'm looking at my watch like, oh my God, I don't know if we're going to make this in time to get them in for load in and get started and open up for Nico McBrain of Titanium Tart, who was with Iron Maiden previously. So I left Kissimmee, drove to Apopka, switched out vehicles in my dress, work dress. I'm hauling butt and starts raining, and I'm running down the road trying to find out where they're at on the 429 because I have to get them to Sanford. And I'm driving up and down the road to see if I can find them off on the side of the road. They're waiting to get a U-Haul or, whatever you call it, tow truck to come get them.
I'm exhausted just listening to this.
Yeah.
But this is a true story. This happened a year ago this month. It was
Jesus,
crazy.
Karen.
Anyway, I finally found them. We detached the trailer. Traffic is going by like crazy. It's raining outside. We hook it up to my truck. Get them to the barn in Sanford just in time to load up and get started playing. Crazy story, but it is so true. And that's John Kaminer from Kaminer, the Kaminer brothers, John and Sean, calling me right now. Hey guys, you're going to hear this in a little bit. They're actually opened up for the Cinderella tribute
they're
on
good.
August
those
3rd.
Guys are
yeah,
good.
They're great. They opened up with you guys. I had them open up for you guys at two shows.
Those
Big
kids are
Chocolate
really
and
good, man.
Yeah, they're really amazing. Yeah. John and Sean Kaminer. So They play at the barn just in time. I mean, the show went on within minutes. Within minutes.
See, your takeaway here.
Yeah, but not only that,
wrap
gets,
this. I got it because I got to
go. All right.
My Wi-Fi. Is that if you contact her, be worth that kind of dedication, because that's the kind of band she wants to work with that appreciates that kind of a work ethic. So be worthy. Understand that there is a worthiness that goes with this game. Be worthy and understand that whether you are or not.
Because if you're not, you'll be found out. That's for damn sure.
Right.
Yeah, we blame that.
If you're not, and the constructive criticism comes back that you're not ready for me yet, learn from that. Don't get angry. There's a reason.
No.
You know, so laser focused entertainment and talent agency, spread motherfucking eagle. And Shovelhed, we love you guys.
Eat crow.
We'll do this again next Wednesday. My guest is Eric Winger.
I love Eric Winger.
Yes,
I love him.
awesome.
He's amazing. Original artist.
Or
And he's
original
also,
artist,
and he's in the
also
Kiss
the
tribute.
drummer
Yeah, for the
from
Kiss
the
tribute.
Kiss Alive band. So we're
He's
gonna have a good
amazing.
talk.
They've also performed for my benefits in the past. They're really good. He's really amazing. You're gonna like him.
Yeah, he's a good friend. I've known him for quite some time.
Love
Did
him.
a cruise together too.
Oh,
All
nice.
right, y'all.
All those dirty, dirty secrets.